Okay, welcome to the Crrow Discovery Project. Sorry for my absence. I was getting over a cold. I shot a very interesting orb-like object in the eastern sky. When I got out of bed that morning, Crowette was already filming it. I have vetted this against planets. There were planets rising to the southeast. We are shooting exactly due east, and as you can see from the footage, there is no movement, and actually it would have to be Venus or Jupiter. When you see the object, you'll understand why. And while Jupiter was on the opposite side of the sky in the west, Venus was significantly to the south as it rose, and it was only 15 degrees from the sun, which means anything that we shot would have had the sun right in frame with it. Venus was pretty close to the sun. So at any rate, let's get into this, and I'll open up with just some clips that I recorded the audio as I got going in the morning filming the chem planes coming in by this object. Oh yeah, and also Lovejoy. I have some snaps of Lovejoy at the end of this clip. Here we go. Alright, so the little orb thing, or whatever it is, that's sitting perfectly stationary is in those chem clouds. The sky was perfectly clear. There were just a wisp of probably natural clouds, and then the chem planes came and sprayed right over it, right over the top. You can see just to the left of center somewhere is the orb there. I've got the other camera recording it, I hope. They have chemmed the living daylights out of us. We're still filming that orb looking thing in that middle part of the frame right there where there's a blue patch. It's right up there in the clouds, and they have sprayed right on top of it, and you can see the cloud cover. And they are some thick, persistent chemtrails, and very low. So, I mean, is this thing some kind of a marker, or what's going on? I mean, it's not moving. We wondered if it was tethered to the ground, but it's not swaying, and it's just barely drifting down very, very slowly. Alright, so here's a wide shot with just the Canon T2i with just the standard lens. There's a little bit of jiggle. You can tell by the shape of the object. But by the time I got up, I got the Nikon, the good camera, out with the telephoto, and I put the doubler on it, and this is what I saw. But when I looked at this through binoculars, it looked very luminescent. It looked lit from inside, almost looked like you could see into it. And if you look on the right side of this thing, there's those little striations or whatever. So I'm going to run a few filters here, and you can look. And as we get further into the video, keep an eye on that right side, and near the end we'll look at both sides. There's a little bit of movement on this thing. So it was drifting down slowly now that I've had time to go through the video, but I think what is actually going on is it's going away from me. So here's just random stills I pulled, and I'll fade them through so that we can see. That one may have a little jiggle. But at times it looks very nebulous, and these are the same settings, and there's that little mark on the right again, and at some points, or on the right, and right there it's almost see-through, and there's that little mark on the right. Looks like it's pulled in a little bit. I'll load a couple more of these and we'll do the fade through. Now it's back to two little marks on that side, and you can see movement in the video, which I'll load up here. Okay, so here is the video footage with the telephoto, the doubler from the good camera, the Nikon, and I'll zoom in on this object, and we can just see how it moves. Alright, so this is a 600% zoom, and from here on in, every time I zoom on this object, it will be the same 600% zoom. This is real time, and you can see that there is some movement, but if you look very carefully at that kind of right egg point on the right and a little bit on the left, there's movement of some sort. And I did inversion, and I put this in Photoshop. I looked for anything else in frame, a tether going down or anything, and there's nothing there. And shots like this where it's surrounded by blue sky, it would be very easy to see once you're manipulating things, and it's just there floating. This is 1500% speed to show the gradual movement as it travels down. Now this is headed slightly north of east. So this again is zoomed. This is one of the later ones. The chem planes have come in. That's all chem debris coming down, and this is the same zoom you just looked at before, but it's much smaller, indicating that it's gone further away from us. And the chem planes, they came in low and just right on top of this thing. And another funny thing is too, that evening, late at night, it began to rain after all this chemtrailing. Okay, so this is a video taken earlier, and what I'm going to do is knock out all the ambient light so that you can look at both the right edge and the left edge, and you can see there's like a little, I don't even know how to describe it, kind of globular looking movement there. It's a really strange thing. I have no idea what this is. I've never seen anything like it. And it was there for hours, probably from about 7:30 in the morning until the chemtrails debris covered it up at, I don't know, maybe 10 or 10:30. Then, even then, we could see it for a long time in the chem debris. So anyhow, people have been asking for shots of Comet Lovejoy. So what I did is I took the Canon out and I just took some wide field shots to see if I could locate it, and I did. It took me about 3 or 4 minutes to locate it. I didn't realize it first, but there is Orion to give you an idea, because that's easy to find in the sky, of where Lovejoy is. It's going to be a little further up to the right now because it's been a few days since I shot this. I think 4 days, 5 days, something like that. But I have some other images that I've processed a little bit, and I will zoom in on Lovejoy. Now, the reason I put suspicious is because you'll see when I zoom in, it's a green blob. And I've said this before when I was working on the Rosetta, the whole fiasco charade that they've been doing with the Rosetta thing. Anyways, I'll get back to that in a second. There it is in the center. The green blob is Lovejoy. And again, comets never used to be this color, and I'll demonstrate it at the end, but I'm just completely suspicious of this stuff. The whole Rosetta Philae thing was shown to be a complete charade. Everything about it was wrong. It was hoaxy from the outset. And then when people started looking at it critically, there was so many things that were just clearly another one of the games that they're playing with us, from its discovery on, September 11th to just everything. Nothing was right about that. So if you have a camera, that was just the Canon that I used to take that. Anything with a wide field, you can shoot it. So in the green box is Orion, and the two arrows, one points to the Pleiades and the other one is Aldebaran, that orange star that's next to Orion, and the yellow line traveling up to the right is the days of this month. Now, I shot around the 9th or the 10th, but you can see where the comet will be. So if you can see Orion in the sky, and you can see where the Pleiades is in the sky, it's in that general area. And if you take a wide field shot, you'll be able to get it. And I'm urging people to do this because I'm suspicious of what we're being presented with the modern comets. They don't look anything like comets used to look like, and I've been at this since the 90s. And there was a point in the 90s when I could have looked at a picture of any of the comets of the 20th century and ID'd it just from the look. And almost all of them are white with shades of blue. Occasionally there may be a little orange or fiery look, but most of them had tails, and this next image will show you exactly what I mean. This is typically what comets looked like back in the day. And they don't look like this anymore. They're green, and even that image of Hyakutake up in the right is starting to get that green glow. And I remember images of that as being blue. So something's changing. The comets are not the same as they used to be, and I think it's something to look at carefully. I think it's something suspicious. At any rate, please follow me on the Examiner. I'll put the link down in the description. I'll be writing another article probably in a day or two. And so there it is. Cheers.